If theta is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, and sine of theta is equal to 20 over 29, then cosine of theta is equal to what? So there's really only two things you need to answer this question. First thing you need to know is your positive and negative chart for your SOHCAHTOA. So everything in the top right is going to be positive, which is where this all students take calculus. Little acronym comes from. So this tells us that in quadrant 2, sine is going to be positive and everything else is going to be negative. In quadrant 3, tangent is going to be positive and everything else is going to be negative. And in quadrant 4, cosine is going to be positive and everything else is going to be negative. So the reason they gave us that theta is between 90 and 180 to tell us that we are dealing with quadrant 2. So in quadrant 2, sine will be positive and everything else is going to be negative. So we already can eliminate answer F and G because we know that cosine is going to be negative in this quadrant. The next thing you need to know is that the relationship between sine and cosine, the denominators are going to be the same. It's just the hypotenuse in both of them. And so the hypotenuse is 29. Therefore, we know that the denominator must be 29. And so you can eliminate J and K. They're not even wanting you to actually have to find that third side. We could find that third side by just doing Pythagorean theorem because this is essentially a triangle, but you don't need to. We already know that the answer is H. And if all of this was confusing to you, highly recommend that you go and do the SOHCAHTOA lesson and the unit circle lesson in that order. And it's going to make these questions so easy for you in the future. Anybody can do it. You don't need to have had pre-calc. You don't need to have had trig. You can learn just how to do these questions with an hour of lesson time, maybe 2 hours of a lesson time. It's going to take you a little bit more time to memorize the unit circle, but you don't even need to memorize the unit circle to be able to do many of the unit circle questions like this one.